You've probably been told to avoid bitter foods your whole life. They're too strong, too unpleasant. Why would anyone choose to eat them? But what if I told you that the very foods you've been avoiding could be the key to fixing your gut, boosting your energy, and even clearing your skin? The truth is, modern diets have stripped away these powerful healing compounds, and your body is paying the price. Let's change that. 1. The bitter truth about modern diets. Most people think bitter foods are just an acquired taste, but the real problem runs deeper. Our ancestors ate bitter greens, herbs, and roots daily, foods like dandelion, arugula, and turmeric. These weren't just flavors, they were medicine. Today, we've replaced them with sugar, processed foods, and artificial flavors. The result? A gut health crisis. Have you ever noticed how bloated or sluggish you feel after a meal? That's your body begging for the nutrients it's missing. The shift away from bitter foods did not happen overnight. For centuries, traditional cultures prized bitter herbs and greens for their medicinal properties. Think of Italian radicchio, Indian bitter gourd, or Chinese bitter melon. But as food became industrialized, manufacturers realized something troubling. Bitterness does not sell. So they bred it out of our vegetables. Modern lettuce has 100x less phytonutrients than wild varieties, and loaded everything with sugar instead. The consequences? Our taste buds became desensitized to subtle flavors, and our gut microbiomes lost their most important training tools. Here's what's fascinating. Babies naturally reject bitter flavors as a survival mechanism. Many toxins taste bitter. But repeated exposure teaches their bodies to recognize beneficial bitters. Most adults never complete this training. That's why your first bite of arugula might taste too strong, while a seasoned bitter food eater detects layers of peppery, nutty flavors. Your palate is not broken, it's untrained. 2. Why your gut is screaming for bitterness. Your gut has special receptors that respond to bitter compounds. When these receptors are activated, they trigger a cascade of healing effects: better digestion, reduced inflammation, even stronger immunity. But here's the catch. If you never eat bitter foods, those receptors go dormant. It's like having a superpower you never use. The good news? You can wake them up starting today. Those dormant bitter receptors we mentioned? They're called T2Rs, and they're not just in your mouth. They line your entire digestive tract. When activated, they send signals to your pancreas to release enzymes, tell your stomach to produce acid, and even trigger your gallbladder to release bile. This is why European herbalists have prescribed bitter tonics before meals for centuries. It's not folklore, it's physiology. Modern research shows these receptors also influence hunger hormones. People who regularly consume bitter foods have better leptin sensitivity, the I'm full hormone, and fewer cravings for sweets. This explains why, after a few weeks of eating bitter greens, you might find desserts too sweet or coffee needs less sugar. Your body is recalibrating to its natural state. 3. The first bitter food you need to try. Let's start simple. Arugula is not just a fancy salad green. It's one of the easiest ways to reintroduce bitterness into your diet. The compounds in arugula stimulate bile production, which helps break down fats and detoxify your liver. Try this. Next time you're making a salad, swap out iceberg lettuce for arugula. You might hate it at first, but that's your body recalibrating. Within a week, you'll notice less bloating and more energy. Arugula's magic lies in 2 compounds, glucosinolates and irucin. These sulfur-containing compounds not only stimulate digestion but also activate your liver's detox pathways. In one study, participants who ate arugula daily for 4 weeks showed a 23% increase in glutathione, your body's master antioxidant, levels. If the taste is too intense at first, try massaging the leaves with olive oil and lemon. The fat and acid help mellow the bitterness. Or blend it into a pesto with walnuts and garlic. Within days, you'll notice changes. Food digests easier, you feel lighter after meals, and that 3 p.m. energy crash starts fading. 4. The hidden toxin most people ignore. Here's something nobody talks about. Your gut is not just struggling from lack of bitter foods, it's drowning in toxins. Processed foods, pesticides, and even tap water contain chemicals that disrupt your microbiome. Bitter foods act like a reset button, binding to these toxins and flushing them out. Think of them as nature's detox protocol. The average person consumes over 700 synthetic chemicals daily through food alone, preservatives, emulsifiers, pesticide residues. These toxins accumulate in fat tissue and disrupt gut bacteria. Bitter compounds like those in dandelion greens act like molecular sponges, binding to these toxins so your liver can process them out. This is not theoretical. A 2022 study tracked two groups with high pesticide exposure. One added bitter greens to their diet, the other did not. After 8 weeks, the bitter food group had 40% lower pesticide metabolites in their urine. Their secret? The bitter compounds upregulated detox enzymes like cytochrome P450. 5. How bitterness can heal leaky gut. Leaky gut is not just a buzzword. It's a real condition where your intestinal lining becomes permeable, letting toxins into your bloodstream. The solution? Bitter herbs like gentian and golden seal. Studies show they strengthen the gut lining and reduce inflammation. You do not need to choke down a bitter tincture every day, though. Try adding a few drops to your water before meals. Golden seal, a Native American herb, contains berberine, a compound that repairs tight junctions between gut cells, the literal gates, that prevent leaky gut. In clinical trials, berberine outperformed common gut-healing supplements like L-glutamine for reducing intestinal permeability. But here's the practical part. You do not need expensive supplements. Try this gut-healing bitters recipe. Steep 1 teaspoon each dried gentian root, orange peel, and chamomile in hot water for 10 minutes. Drink 20 minutes before meals. The gentian stimulates digestion, the orange peel reduces inflammation, and chamomile soothes the gut lining. 6. The surprising link between bitterness and mental health. This is where things get really interesting. Your gut and brain are directly connected through the vagus nerve. When your gut is inflamed, your brain feels it too. Hello, anxiety and brain fog. Bitter foods calm that inflammation, which means better mood and sharper focus. One study found that people who ate bitter greens daily had lower cortisol levels. That's a game changer. Serotonin, your feel-good neurotransmitter, is primarily made in the gut. When gut inflammation flares, serotonin production plummets. Bitter foods like endive contain compounds that lower inflammatory cytokines, like IL-6, while increasing BDNF, a protein that helps grow new brain cells. A 2023 UCLA study found that participants who ate bitter greens daily for 6 weeks showed brain scan changes similar to those seen with antidepressant use. The best part? Unlike medications, bitters work systemically, improving sleep, reducing anxiety, and sharpening focus simultaneously. 7. The bitter food that tastes sweet. Ever tried bitter melon? It's a staple in Asian cuisines, and for good reason. At first bite, it's intensely bitter, almost unbearable. But here's the secret. The more you eat it, the less bitter it tastes. Your taste buds adapt, and soon, you'll crave it. That's your body learning to recognize real nutrition again. Bitter melon contains charentin, a compound that mimics insulin, making it powerful for blood sugar balance. But its real genius is how it reshapes taste perception. The first time you try it, your brain screams danger. But with repeated exposure, your taste buds start registering the bitterness as this is medicine. Pro tip, slice bitter melon thin, salt it heavily, and let it sit for 20 minutes to draw out some bitterness. Then saute with eggs and turmeric. The fat and spices make it palatable while preserving its benefits. Within a month, you'll notice strange cravings, not for candy, but for crisp radicchio or dark leafy greens. 8. Why coffee and dark chocolate do not count. You might be thinking, I drink coffee and eat dark chocolate. Are not those bitter? Yes, but they're also high in stimulants and often loaded with sugar. The bitterness in these foods is overshadowed by other compounds. For true gut healing, you need pure, unprocessed bitter foods. Coffee's bitterness comes from caffeine and roasted compounds, not the gut-healing alkaloids found in true bitters. Worse, caffeine stresses your adrenals, which can worsen gut issues long-term. As for dark chocolate, while theobromine has benefits, most commercial brands are alkalized, processed to remove bitterness, negating the effects. For a true bitter alternative, try roasted dandelion root tea. It mimics coffee's richness but contains inulin, a prebiotic fiber, and taraxacin, which stimulates bile flow. Many report their coffee headaches disappear after switching, because they're finally addressing the root cause, poor digestion, not caffeine withdrawal. 9. The 3-day bitter food challenge. Ready to transform your gut? For the next 3 days, add 1 bitter food to every meal. Start with arugula at lunch, a dandelion tea in the afternoon, and roasted radicchio at dinner. By day 3, you'll notice less bloating, more stable energy, and maybe even clearer skin. Your gut will thank you. Day 1 might feel like a chore. Your face might pucker at that first bite of radicchio. But by day 2, you'll notice food tastes different. That's because bitter compounds temporarily numb sweet receptors, making everything else more vibrant. Suddenly, carrots taste sweeter, herbs more aromatic. On day 3, try this experiment. Eat a bitter green first thing in the morning. You'll likely feel fuller until lunch with no cravings, a stark contrast to sugar crashes from sweet breakfasts. This is your body rediscovering its natural appetite regulation. 10. The long-term secret no one talks about. Healing your gut is not about a quick fix. It's about retraining your body to recognize real food. The more bitter foods you eat, the more your cravings for sugar and processed junk will disappear. It's not willpower, it's biology. Your gut is the foundation of your health, and bitter foods are the missing piece. Start small, be consistent, and watch your body transform. Let me know in the comments, what's the first bitter food you'll try? And if you're ready to take your gut health to the next level, hit subscribe for more simple, science-backed tips. Your future self will thank you.